I would say that you can, what you feel from people is they are increasingly concerned about the increased lawlessness. And
Yeah.
and the big issue is, where do I go?
Yes, and I think that great taking fear from the book highlights like where the rubber really hits people with, like, if all your money out of your accounts was gone. And to me, part of the what I think about is the story believable? Like, is it, because ultimately this has to get people on board to go along with whatever happens. And the great taking where they come and they evaporate all your accounts, to me, most people would recognize that as a theft. But if you crash the market, or you have a bank meltdown that leads to a market crash, or something else that people are used to, and that takes the value of their accounts down
Right.
dramatically, they're willing to go along with that story because it's something they've become accustomed to seeing.
Right. So a lot of my time, I was in the United States for most of the first quarter. I came on January 20th. And a lot of my time has been spent working with state legislators on taking all those different steps they can take to to protect the residents of their state from financial lawlessness and
Mhm,
financial control.
mhm.
So we've got a ton of information up on the website. I won't cover it today, but that's certainly the theme of this wrap up is going to be on what the states can do. And I have to say, driving around, when you're in the jurisdictions where the states are taking action, it makes a huge difference
Mhm.
to when you're in the states that aren't. And yet I keep getting the question, Tim, on how do I get away from this? What can I do to protect myself? And I keep saying to people, look, if there's no law, there's
Yeah,
there's
and
no
and then don't discount. Many times people say I'm getting away, and they totally discount their social network. And if your social network is real strong, and maybe sometimes it's better to stay where you are and fight, or work to make it better.
absolutely. I do want to spend a minute and talk about the treasury market, because there is something that we're dealing with in the treasury market that for most people it's too overwhelming to face. And the time is coming with the explosion of debt at the federal level. We're going to have to face it. It's 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 coming up, it's going to come up. And I want to start by telling you, let me pull this up. I was watching a very serious presentation on the great taking analysis of, can they take your securities at a very high level? Can they
Mhm.
seize them? And then they came around, and it was a very serious, in-depth presentation, went on for about 25 minutes. They said the solution is to sell all your stocks and take your money and put it in Treasury Direct.
Yeah.
And I was so shocked. I was in an audience of like 50 people. I screamed, "No!" I said, "You don't want them to take it, so instead you're going to give it to them? Are you
Yeah.
out of your mind?" And the whole room looked at me, and it was really funny because after it was over, a lot of people came over and said, "Okay, what do I do with my money?"
Well, I think a lot of times in conversations of this type, people will use the word they without specifying or thinking about who they is.
Right.
They will take my money. Well, who's they? I thought you mentioned one of your solutions to use cash that I thought is really elegant and perfect. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The one where any purchase below 500, no sales
Yes.
tax. I
Yes.
love that one.
Yeah.
I love that one. It went nowhere because they slapped a big fiscal note on it, but I've been hawking it to other states in the hope, if we can get one state to pick it up,
Yeah.
I think it'll go
But
like
that
hotcakes.
is easily understood by anybody who walks in or out of Wawa, anybody who's riding a public bus, anybody who lives in a mansion. Everybody can understand what that means.
Everybody can understand it, but I'll tell you, it's huge relief to if you look at how much people are struggling with inflation, it's great for the lower income groups. I mean, it really
Yeah.
gives them a boost.
Hmm.
So And in Tennessee, they lowered the sales tax on farm purchases, I think, down to 4%. So,
Okay.
but I love that one. I just think it's
Yeah.
every state should do it. Every
Mhm.
state should do it.